Hello, everyone. Welcome, welcome. I appreciate it. And as always, we're going to wait to about 3 minutes or so before we get started and introduce the SMD family member who will be speaking today. What's up, Nicole? What's up, Jewel? Hello, hello. So we're going to wait a couple minutes and then we're going to go ahead and I'm going to do the introductions like I always do, and then we'll just go from there. All right. I hope people got I did post it in the community, didn't I? I think I did. Yeah. Let me see. Yeah, I put it there. All right, cool. Oh, let me put it on Facebook. I don't think I did Facebook. Did I? Get in here. Glad you can join those guys, those of you jumping in here. Appreciate you. All right, let me get shareable link. Paste. All right, let's see many people in here. We got 11. What's up, NC Big, Steven, Blockchain? What's going on? Waiting for everybody to get in here so we can get started. Paste a couple things in here just in case you want an SMD shirt. Welcome, welcome. Oops, that's what I was looking for. Oh, there we go. Copy. Paste. All right. All right. Who else is in here? Fred. What's up, Fred? Long time no see. What's going on? What's happening? Hope you and your fam doing good still. Hope you guys still on the same track. You know, I want to see you free. If you're looking for an SMD shirt, here you go. There's the link. Right there, check it out. All right, we're going to get started. My name is LJ Young, and I am a 100% debt-free motivational speaker and personal finance educator. I help people become financially free by helping them mathematically see outside what I call the debt matrix. And the debt matrix is a place where slaves live, all right? And there's two kinds of slaves. There's unconscious slaves and there's conscious slaves. Unconscious slaves don't trust math, and they don't know they don't trust math. Example, unconscious slaves believe in their homeowners with 30-year mortgages when all they have to do is open up the calculator, put in the mortgage payment minus the mortgage balance, hit equal, and clearly see that they're not homeowners. But since they don't believe what the calculator is telling them, that makes them hence unconscious. Conscious slaves they were once unconscious. That was me. I lived in there until age 40. Conscious slaves now that found SMD channel, which is unlike any other channel out of the 37 million subscribers on YouTube, unlike any other channel on YouTube, found this channel, did what the name said, savings minus debt, put it in a calculator, and decided to believe the calculator. And they said to themselves, if I believe that large negative number, that means that's how far I am below zero. All right. Then they woke up. All of a sudden, that was me. I did this, found Dave Ramsey. Dave Ramsey said, take the math that you learned from grade school, apply it to your finances, win with money. That's what I did. Use these baby steps. Then I said, okay, it's just mathematics. And then I stripped out Dave Ramsey's religion, because religion has nothing to do with mathematics. Even with the 15% put away for a house, I said, don't do that, because that's not mathematically true. And now I just bare bones math. Okay. Now I'm free. Now this is SMD was created from this, because now I didn't realize I was a slave the whole time. Now I can't help but to share. Now, out of all this freedom was created SMD channel. Okay. SMD is a family, savings minus debt. Right. And now we got another SMD family member here today, Greyside, with his second. This is your second time, I believe, right?
Yeah, that's right.
So go ahead and introduce yourself, sir.
Hey, everybody. I'm Greyside. And yeah, I've been collaborating with LJ. We've been talking through Facebook Messenger. I believe in, sound mathematics. And to do that, you really do need to just, own yourself. So owning, your home, your car, Also, when it just comes to how bills, how they're paid, I just believe in doing it in such a way that you're not adding to debt. You're really chipping away at it, getting to zero, so that you can really live that abundant life.
Is that it?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah, that's
okay. All right. So let's go ahead
get
and
it
get
short.
started with the topic, man. And I didn't mean to say it like that, but give them a little background of who you are and what where you at, so they can understand where you at right now, and then they can be able to maybe, hopefully, I'll help them understand you better. And then we can get
Sure.
into your topic.
All right. So my topic is to stay away from the slave information network. That's for today. But my background is that basically ever since I just grew up, I listened to my dad. He had his own way when it comes to finance, of making sure that you don't owe anybody anything. So when it came to our first home that we got, he paid for that out cash. So when I grew up, I was like, all right, I'm not gonna get no mortgage. I'm just gonna pay out, all cash for mine. When it came to us getting our family car, we would go to auctions to get them. They would be dependable. They wouldn't be like lemons or no junk cars or nothing, but they were completely fine. And yeah, I grew up with a certain mindset that you don't want to be financing things that go down in value. So ever since then, I just grew up, and I've actually seen all of my decisions that I've made that just it's as I've gotten older, they just multiply. So that's why I want to get out and spread the message to everybody that there is another way. You don't have to go and be working for somebody who you hate, you can't stand, and living essentially, below your potential. And I feel like, if I do all of that, then, my life would just, I'll just be adding to what I've already been given. So that's my intro on that.
Nice, man. That's a good one. I like that intro too. Now they need to know you got paid off house too, right?
That is correct.
Okay, I want them to realize that's very important, that you have no debt with a paid off house, so they can see that. Are you a multimillionaire, by the way?
No, I am not.
Oh, okay,
This is
because
all in the
they believe
future
only
for better.
multimillionaires can have a paid off house. I just want to make sure that's clear. All right, cool. Go ahead.
In the future, definitely, but now, no.
Yes, you
Yeah.
already know you are, but I want them to understand that you have a paid off house without being a multimillionaire first.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Right.
No, that's
Okay.
just a myth that you got to be a multimillionaire in order to because really that has nothing to do with those sound financials. And by
Correct.
that I mean like okay, so a person's a multimillionaire, so they're I don't know, they're worth, let's say, $3 million right now. Well, I mean, if they got 6 million in debt, I mean, what does that mean? You see what I'm saying?
Right. Right.
So
Exactly. Yeah, they
yeah.
don't see that part. Well, you guys always know. I always say unconscious slaves can't see negative numbers. That's why they can't see what you just said.
Exactly. So yeah,
Mhm.
man, I was just gonna elaborate a little bit about staying away from the slave information
Yeah.
network,
Okay.
and
Let's hear your view on it. I'm curious.
yeah, so basically, you have these people that they're in that debt matrix, and they believe a certain, or they think a certain way, and they have sort of belief. So to be successful, you cannot listen to those people. We were just talking about how when it comes to, let's just say, employment, it's important to know that people will rationalize when they go and go into a job that they don't want, even when it comes to schedules that they hate. I can remember even like an ex-girlfriend of mine, she would always say, oh yeah, I gotta work this night shift and all this other kind of stuff. And it's really cool though, because there's not as many managers around. So really, you don't have a bunch of people managing you and tell you what to do and so forth and so on. And I still remember, like, she was like sleep deprived hard. Like she would be like dark circles
Mm,
around her eyes and all this other
mm,
kind of stuff. I'm like,
mm.
yeah, it ain't management around, but I mean, what about your sleep schedule and your health
Right.
and your quality of life?
Right.
Everybody else is up during the daytime, and then you can't enjoy life with the rest of us because you're exhausted.
Mm,
You sleeping
mm.
while the rest of us is up. So
Are you
don't.
telling her this? Or are you just thinking
Yeah.
this?
No. I told her that. Like, but she
Oh,
wasn't
oh,
hearing
okay.
that. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Because
Okay.
she's rationalizing it out by trying to like
Oh,
make it seem like, oh, well, they pay you a little bit more too, and people
right.
They'll be
Right.
trying to trying to circle the square. You know what I'm saying?
They don't know they're saying that though. They don't know they're saying that.
Yeah. So.
It's crazy. I know what you're saying. I don't mean to throw your story up, but real quick before I forget, I went to Olive Garden over the weekend, right? And
Uh-huh.
I was sitting down. The server, she was the lady that was helping me, young lady. She looked like she was probably mid-20s, maybe. And she's talking to another waiter person next to her as she's preparing something on the table to get my food or something. And she's like, "Hey, so and so. Oh yeah, I've been pulling doubles, and then I have to, I'm pulling doubles every day, and then I have to be back at this time in the morning." And she's like, "Oh, my boyfriend has to love me because I work." I'm thinking, doubles? Is that like 2 8-hour shifts in one day? I don't know what a double is, right?
Right.
But she said she was pulling them every day. And
Damn.
then she was talking about a boyfriend. I'm thinking to myself, well, you're not gonna have a boyfriend too long if you pulling doubles. I'm thinking this in my mind, but she was saying it like it was just normal, like it was nothing. And she looked tired, just like you said. She had the same circles. She looked tired.
Yeah, man. Yeah, so that's why it's important to stay away. That's why that the title is so important. Just stay away from sin. But it's not the sin you're thinking about in the Bible. It's the slave information network. So stay away from that. But yeah, man. So the next one I'm
Oh,
gonna
I
cover.
just now connected that.
Yeah, you just get
Sin,
that.
okay.
Yeah, man.
I just now got it. God damn.
Yeah. So
Okay. Okay.
yeah,
Slave
man.
from.
So
Oh shit. I might have to steal that.
what? There's gonna be another shirt.
Yeah, slave information network, and happens to be sin. I like that shit. I'm gonna keep that. Let me write that down. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
man. Go ahead, man.
Yeah. So it's important, when it comes to, just to the math, staying out of your feelings as well. This is a big one. Yeah, I got to cover. I remember, like you mentioned in one of your videos too in the past about wonder why it's a box on, your W-2, W-4, and it says check here if you don't owe, any back taxes for the year. And it's funny, I got a crazy story about like my ex-girlfriend. This is of course a separate one. She told me that she actually got a letter from the IRS, and it actually said that she owed several thousands of dollars in taxes. And I asked her like, why? I mean, why are you saying you owe this much? Normally they go, you pay your taxes, they take it out, and then you're good from there. And I was like, how did all of this happen? She says, well, it seems that someone must have checked that box over at HR. And you know what, man?
Somebody did, huh?
You know what the fucked up part of it is? I actually like that.
What?
Shows you. I was thinking below the waist instead of above the waist because like she had me going with that. I'm like, could somebody actually do that for real at HR? Then I start thinking like logically later. I'm like, wait a minute, why would somebody just all of a sudden take your W-2 and just put a check mark by it just to? I mean, come on, man, that don't make a damn bit of sense.
Did it to be mean, I guess. I don't know.
Right. So, and besides, see, this is the part that doesn't make sense about it. I'm actually glad we got to that because here's the thing: like, just take me in that same situation that she was in. Now, if I went in that same situation and I just, let's say somehow somebody did check that box. At first, when I would get that and that money, you can say the bag. So first, when I get that bag, my paycheck come through, and I'm like, God damn, look at how much money this is, and I probably come on the world. I'm like,
right.
Yeah. And then, but after a while, after a couple of days, I'll be like, wait a minute, like something ain't right about this. Like,
correct.
I don't think they took out them taxes. And then I would have called HR, and then I would have show me my W-2 and everything because I want to make sure it's right.
Correct.
But the kicker of it is she ain't do that because she's the one that actually checked that box and just don't want to, she's playing the victim.
Correct. You know what they do? They check that box and then they adjust their finances to that money without paying taxes. Ain't that crazy? That's exactly what they do. I've had a couple of clients that do that have done that. They said, that's what I've done. Things were getting tight and check that box. And I forgot.
Oh my God. Nah.
Right. I mean, they said, I'll never do nothing like that again. Even when I was in the debt matrix and I would be doing my W-2, I would see that box. And I would say, I remember saying to myself, why is that box there?
Yep.
I mean, if you have to pay taxes, right? Why is that box there? And then, you go read the definition. Even the definition of that box doesn't make sense. They know slaves are going to check that box. I mean, this is my opinion. Of course, I can never prove this, but I just think they put it there for slaves because they already hate taxes. And they think, oh, okay, I'll just check that box. I'll do it for 6 months or whatever they say. And then they forget about it.
Wow. Yeah.
It makes no sense.
Not even a little bit. But just like you were saying earlier about not seeing, like negative numbers, it's funny. I actually worked a contract job earlier in the year and everything. I still remember, like, so this is how much we got paid. It had to be like, what, for a day? It was like four or 500, something like this. And then I remember, like, the other dude, he was like, oh man, at least I know I get, and we're 1099 contractors. It was, at least I get, this 500 for the day and everything. And I'm like, dude, like, no, you're not getting that. You need to take off that 20%. You're not getting paid that full amount right now. And when I said it to him, he had this dazed look in his eye, like he didn't he didn't understand, or he just didn't want to acknowledge it. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Right. No, you're right. All the above, and again, they don't see that. That's what, when you look at that, you be like, are you crazy? You don't realize you got to take away? No, they don't. You know how much, put it this way, now that they're pushing everybody to 1099 now, then the whole economy changed, right? You know how many slaves are not going to be paying their taxes, man? The IRS is about to make a killing in penalties and interest. And interest.
Wow. Terrible.
Crazy, man. It's crazy.
It remind me too, like speaking of taxes, it reminds me when I was actually doing my taxes. And this just goes back to, again, keeping your feelings out of the numbers. Mm-hmm. So I use this software and everything, and then I punched all my W-2s and everything in there, and then it indicated that I owe, it was some hundreds of dollars. Mm-hmm. And then first when I saw it, I was like, and this is with all of my financial acumen, I was like, man, it's like, you know what, like I don't think I owe all of that. Again, that's feelings. That's not facts. So then I went to investigate it further. And so what I actually did, just to prove it to myself, I put all of that tax information into 3 different other tax prep online services.
Oh, okay.
And then guess what? They all came back with that exact same number.
Right.
That's the first one. Now here's the thing. Like, when that happened, I had a decision to make. Now I could either believe what all 4 of those tax prep services said, or I could be like, nah, I don't know that money. They all must be wrong.
Right.
So, long story short, I paid off, that amount of taxes that I owe. This is funny how some people, no matter what you show them, they'll be like, no, I don't believe that. It's blatantly obvious in my face what's going on and what I owe, but I'm just not going to do it. So, hey, if you want to do that, the IRS got a solution for you. This is what it really is that they can't see. Okay, slaves can't see this. If you created a successful business that is making money so fast that you don't even have time to spend it, who cares about the taxes? You see what I'm saying? Who cares? Yeah. It doesn't even matter. You think about it. It doesn't matter what tax bracket. That's a trick for the slaves. They think because the rich and wealthy are up such a high tax bracket, they got so much money coming in so fast. Who cares what tax bracket they're in? It doesn't matter. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Doesn't even matter.
Yeah. So yeah, man, and it just takes a lot of courage to just stand by those those sound money principles and everything. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of funny. Even now, with a paid off house, I even get letters in the mail saying. So oh no, you can get a personal loan for $100K for $200K, and now I see them joints, I throw them straight in the trash. I'm like, I know it's invisible strings or invisible leeches or whatever that come right with it.
Of course. You know what I used to do with those people? They used to do that. I used to, because they used to always send you something they want you to sign up for, but give you a postage free to send it back. They pay for it. I used to take all their stuff that they kept mailing me, stuffed it all in one and made it really, really heavy and mailed it back. And then they stopped.
Interesting. I didn't even know you can do that. For real?
Yeah, they have to pay for that. They have to pay for that postage. That because they always give you a postage paid if you fill out something and sign up for something. They pay for the postage. I stuff it all back in there because at first you want them just to stop sending it to you, and then they keep sending you more.
Right.
And so I just made it real heavy and sent it back. They never sent me anything again.
I'm gonna do that for real. That's
Yeah,
a
for
good
real.
tip. All right, yeah, all right, cool. I'm gonna say
Yeah,
that.
man.
Get out my pen on that one.
Yeah, that's what I do, man. I get after a while. I don't want to see that junk mail in my stuff, man. I just didn't want to see it anymore.
Oh, cool beans. So yeah, man.
That's
I
it.
just wanted to cover too. Like we were talking about this briefly before. Like at my job, I can just remember this employee, man. Dude was saying like to the trainer, he was like, keep in mind since this is the 4th of July, holiday, weekend and everything.
Hmm.
He was like, do we still get the 4th of July off? And I still remember, man. Like she looked straight at him and says, "Yeah, you need to talk to HR about that." And when I heard that, I was like, "Wow, it's just
Mm,
crazy that it's like you can go and even on holidays, like you have an employer that can tell you when you can get on and off and all that kind of
right,
stuff. So
right.
like with me, it's kind of funny. Like of course, like whenever I get off and everything, I make my moves, many months in ahead. But I'm
Hmm.
like, even if I didn't do that, like if I say I'm not gonna be there at a certain date, and I've told you, in advance that I'm not gonna be there, and then you don't approve it or whatever, guess what? You're gonna be looking at an empty chair because my ass ain't gonna be there. You know what I'm saying? I'm serious. Like whether you approve it or not approve it, I know what I'm gonna do.
Right. You know what? Somebody, a regular person hear you say that, and they would think, "Oh, you full of shit." That's what they. I'm
Mm-mm.
on. I swear to God, they would think you full of shit.
Nope. Mm-mm. All right. I didn't told you many months ahead that I'm taking this time off, and then they'd be like, even if they try some stuff, like, oh no, we don't know about the request, or we don't know because we have to find somebody. I'm sorry, that's not my problem. That's on yours. It's not my company.
Right.
Like,
Exactly.
so
Oh, you're an anomaly for sure. For sure. They trip on that. But it's true. People don't really understand that kind of power. They don't really understand how. I mean, let them know how you look at your job differently working. They need to really understand why you would say that. You know what I'm saying?
well, I mean, mainly because now like when I'm working because I want to. I actually love what I do. I love to, just render that aid to as many
Hmm.
patients as possible. It's
Hmm.
just amazing. So really when I get up to go to work, I'm not I'm not doing it purely for just because I got to get this money. I got to hurry up. I got to get this bag. You know what I'm saying? I got
Right.
to do bills and
Right.
so forth and so on. So it's like now, whenever you come look at work from that approach, it changes how you work. And,
Mm.
your work is much better. It's more accurate, and you get up and you want to go to work
Mhm.
versus just getting up to go because I gotta go. And it's almost like if you were in school, you know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? It's like when
Mhm.
you're in school, like get up, go ahead, go. You got to go to school, and you just
Right.
like trudge along. Like,
Right.
no, I'm doing this because that's what I want to do. It's my profession. So
Do people at work notice that you're different than most there at work? Do they notice that?
yeah, because they notice I'm not stressed like that. I
Mhm.
mean, it's things that come up all the time, but they know that I just even when like other employees they come in and everything, and I notice that they show me it's like a level of respect that's different because of my sort of like my calm demeanor. They're like, oh,
Mhm.
like dude came in, he's like, oh, sorry, man, like I didn't mean to knock on your door like that,
Mhm.
and it's different because he knows how I am and everything, and I'm not like stressed out or oh my god I'm gonna lose my job and all that kind of stuff. People can get that. It's like a perfume or a cologne. It rubs
Yeah.
off your spirit. I don't
It's
know if
a you know what it's a vibration. It is because you got once you're out here long enough, you'll know that it's a vibration because slaves think stress is normal. They think it's just part of life. And it's a vibration that they give off, and you don't have it. That's why they can feel that you're different, and you definitely not giving it off. So they think it's weird. That's why they can tell your calm demeanor. You're not, nope, there's ever no rush, nothing, time doesn't rule you, things of that nature. And
yeah,
you enjoy what you do on top of that. That's a whole different type of energy.
yeah, man. I mean, just knowing your purpose, that ought to be said too. Like as long as you know your purpose, why you get up in the morning, my next step is just finding, going after what I want and making that into a successful business, which I will be doing, shortly. But
Mm-hmm.
making that successful business just, on my own steam, something that I created, and then, man, my life is just gonna go to like a level that's just unheard of, and I
Mm-hmm.
just can't wait for that to happen.
Right. I can hear I can hear it in your voice. You can already see it. I can tell in your voice that you can already see it.
Yeah, man. So, yeah. But
Sin. I like sin. Slave Information Network.
yeah, because
It
I
sounds
mean,
like a different way of saying slave splaining. I like that.
yeah, just stay away from that network. The places that it'll lead you is just not. It's just not a good look. So if you don't want to be stressed, and you wondering why you're going deeper and deeper into it, it's better. It's
Mm-hmm.
better to switch up and find somebody else to talk to that actually knows about how to pay for things instead of
Mm-hmm.
how to finance everything. So
Mm-hmm. Now, how's your dating life with this information?
dating life,
Yeah,
honestly, it's
because
kind of like a sport. To be honest, it's like, oh, I'm glad you brought that up because
uh-huh.
funny enough, I had a date. This was what? It's probably like a week and a half ago, and I actually asked her a question that you actually mentioned on one of your videos. And I was like, oh, so like, what do you think about Biden and how about him forgiving student debt? Her eyes, man, they lit up so big, and then she goes, oh, well, he probably just meant undergrad, and I'm like, whoa. And then I was like, "Yep, I know exactly what boat you in." And then she goes, she tries to flip it around. She goes, "Oh, what do you think about it?" And I'm like, "You don't mean nothing to me, absolutely zero." Like, no, I don't. I really don't have an opinion about it one way or another. It won't change my life. So,
You're lucky
yeah,
she didn't flip it on you and say, then why you ask?
yeah. But it's a
But she
good
didn't know to ask that
question.
question. She didn't know to ask
Yeah.
that.
I know, but it's a good question to ask when you date. If you just, it's kind of a question that is you're going to get one of two. It's going to be a binary response that you're going to get. Like
Correct.
if I do go or when I go on my next date, and then we talk and everything, and I ask that same question, and she like, I really don't care about it, or I don't really think much of it one way or another. Like your odds are you're dealing with somebody that already knows. You know what I'm
Well,
saying?
let me ask you something. Let me ask you something. Before you even go on the date, you already have to know something because you guys talk on the phone. You got to communicate, text, or whatever. So you got to start getting indications if she's a slave or not at that point. Am I right?
Mm, it all depends on the person at that time. Like if I talk to her and yeah, I can ask her certain questions and see what kind of boat that she's in.
Right.
But yeah, most of the time, like my other friend, like they will say some stuff like they'll just prattle on about student debt and how they don't think they should ever have to pay it off and so forth and so on.
Right.
And
Right.
so I'm like, after I start hearing that kind of stuff, I'll just either it'll be just straight up physical, the reason why we get together,
Right.
or it'll be nothing
Right.
at all.
Well, especially the ones that brag about the degrees too. Oh, I went here and I have this degree, and especially if they start touting multiple degrees, you're like, ooh, interesting. Okay, all right, you got multiple degrees. Okay, okay, I know you can. That means multiple thousands of student loans.
Yeah, that's why I don't know if you heard what PhD stands for, depending on where you go and how many how many thousands of dollars
What?
that they have to spend for it. Really, PhD is piling it high and deep that debt.
Piling it high and deep in
Yeah.
debt. Piling it high and deep. That's
So,
pretty funny. I've never heard that before. Okay,
mhm.
piling it high and deep. That's true.
Because I mean,
That
here's
is
the thing. Like for instance, I went on a date, and that's what she was saying. I actually asked her the same question about the whole Biden thing about forgiving debt, and she actually gave me a response that I was like, yeah, we can talk more. Because she was like, she goes, well, I don't really think everybody should go to college and all this other kind of stuff. And she was like,
okay.
she was telling me the story about how this woman that she knows, like she got her master's degree, then she got her PhD, and now she's working at Borders.
Right.
And I'm like, wait a minute. I'm sorry. My ears I must be bugging.
Did I miss something?
Like what? Borders? Like,
Right.
nah, that's
Right.
not where it's at, fam.
If you
So,
working, if you got a PhD and you working at a bookstore, you can't even afford to make your student loan payments.
mm, mm,
By
mm.
default, they're in the student loan forgiveness program. And they know if you sign up for the student loan forgiveness program, once you in, you ain't never getting out ever. You're never getting out of there.
Wow.
That's it.
Now, here's the thing. I actually don't know anything about that. Seriously, I
Mhm.
really don't. I haven't even looked it up.
Well, it's a place where they sign up. Check this out, and I kid you not. All right, you're not gonna believe it. It's a place where they sign up and they allow them between 10 to 25 years of payments to pay of constant payments between 10 to 25 years. And if they finish out that over that span of years, they'll forgive their student loan debt. Maybe. And,
Maybe?
and
Oh
listen,
no.
and they don't even promise that they'll forgive them. They don't even promise it because last year 99% of the people got denied of student loan forgiveness. You know what they do? They sign right back up.
Mm.
And the whole time they tell you where to work and they tell you how much you're going to make, and you better cross every T, dot every I, because if you don't, and the interest accrues the whole time, it never stops. And they give them a bare minimum payment, a monthly payment,
Mm.
10
Wow.
to 25 years. That's why I said once you get in there, they're never getting out, because by the time they get in there, they already have given up on ever paying off their student loan. They've probably been in them for like 10, 15, 20 years, right? And they're like, oh, fuck it. I'm never going to pay it off. And then they join the student loan forgiveness program. That's where they're trapped until they're dead.
Mm, mm, mm.
Crazy, huh?
Wow.
They don't promise them nothing. They don't say, we don't even tell you we're going to promise you that we're going to forgive. And we're just, if you be good the whole 10 to 25 years, we might do it.
Mm-hmm. That's a bad plan. I wouldn't sign up for that.
No. But the people that would, they know they're slaves. They know that.
Mm, mm, mm.
You trust me, man. I know you don't believe this, but there's some people out there that have absolutely ever thought about paying off their student. They just have accepted that they're never going to pay them off. Millions of people do that.
Wow. Man, I never heard that before. Seriously, it's like Greek to me, man. I'm like, damn, like it's like
Right.
it's not like they just got like with college debt, they kind of got you by the short and the short and curly, so to speak. So
Right.
yeah,
That's why
man.
I was just curious about. I was just curious, man, because I mean, your life is like at your age too with a pay. I mean, do you notice? You do know the significance of a paid off house, right?
You know what? It was the best move that I ever made in my
Man,
entire life.
you ain't
I'm
lying,
grateful
man.
to my dad for this.
Wow.
And really, you know what? It's not even him. It's not even like verbally. It's not what he said. It's what
Mm,
he did. That's
yeah.
what. See, when it comes to like
Yeah.
parents and their children, see your children they're not really going to listen so much to what you say. They're going
Right.
to emulate what you do, and that's how I
Correct.
got my success. Because I saw
Wow,
what he
man.
did.
That was a bit. What was it? 17? You said 17, right?
Yes. Well,
God
yeah.
damn.
So, actually, no, 20. 20. Yeah, it had to be when I was in my 20, and actually 20 years old on the head.
Wow. And you probably did. Did you? Okay, at 20, did you know what you did at 20?
Nope, I just did it. I was like, this is how much I want my own place. And I mean, it's kind of funny. It was rough, getting it and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Because some other stuff had happened in the background that kind
Mm-hmm.
of it could have derailed the whole thing. But no,
Mm-hmm.
man, I stuck to my guns, and I was like, this is what I'm gonna do. And I just paid it off. And ever since then, I've never had I've never even seen any mortgage documentation. Or even like for instance, if you went and you came up to me and you're like, this is this person's mortgage document, I wouldn't know what I was looking at because I never I mean, I know what it's like to get a house till you go
Right.
and you pay out your money for it, and then you go into your lawyer's office, and
Right.
this is the deed, and they give it to you. That I know about, but signing up a mortgage and all of that kind of stuff, nope.
See, just listen to what you're saying, right? Oh, and then go into your lawyer's office. They don't use lawyers. The majority of slaves, they don't use lawyers to buy houses. Did you know
Really?
that?
No, I didn't.
No, they can't even check this out. They can't even afford the house. You think they got money for lawyers? The banks know that. They don't. They come to the table with no lawyers. and they think that shit's normal.
Wow, nah, you need to have a lawyer because that's too much. That's too much, legalese and language, and you can get kind of messed
Exactly.
up if you don't. And that's so much. That's so much money on the line too.
Yeah.
You have to be. That's just a bad financial, move
Correct.
to just is going into it blind, and you never know. And you have to think like whoever created that document may or may not have your own best interests in mind. So you need to
Right.
have your own damn lawyer.
Right. But if you think about it, pay attention to like house commercials, right? Everybody's laughing and smiling, and kids are jumping in the yard. Dogs are playing in the front fenced white picket fence. It's about feelings. So they come to the table with those feelings that they got from TV, totally forgetting about that house is nothing but business for the bank. That's business, nothing personal, business. And they come to this, and you come to the table for those type of documents. First of all, if you come to the table with a signing the subprime mortgage, they know they already have you, right? But they already know you can't afford a lawyer if you come into it, especially with a subprime mortgage. They know you're not coming with a lawyer. They know that.
Wow.
But it got to be that way. The housing market would not exist if they knew what you and I know. It could not exist.
Yeah. Oh man, I meant to tell you too. It's funny. Like on one of your other videos, you were mentioning about how you should pay your your cell phone bill like ahead and everything. It's crazy to say. I'm actually with Mint Mobile myself, man. I pay my bill off a whole year. Yeah.
Ain't that nice, man? You don't even have to think about it. Ain't it nice?
Yeah, because you know what the craziest part of it is? I was with actually T-Mobile, and I was like, damn, my bill did used to fluctuate. One time I remember I was paying it was like $75 a month. It'd be like, 82 and all this other kind of stuff. And now I got with them, and I can just pay my bill off. I actually, unlike well, I guess a lot of other people, I actually do use a lot of data. Like I stream, YouTube videos and I'm traveling, all that kind of stuff. So I do need the unlimited plan.
Right.
But yeah, man, is to just be able to just take care of that for the year. It frees up so much time. You can do other things other than having to go get on your phone and then.
Well, think about it now. Think about it now. You bought the year service. You got the unlimited plan. Whatever that plan is, that's how much it was for the year. Okay.
Yeah.
I remember when I was way years ago, when I was on regular plans, I would be using my plan within the limits that I applied for, but yet my bill was different every time it came. And I never said anything. Never once did I say to myself, wait a minute, I'm using my plan the same way every month, but every time I get my bill, it's a different price. Something's wrong.
Right.
I never said that to myself. I just accepted it like it was a light bill or something. No, it's not a light bill. It's not a water bill. It's none of that. That can literally change. You use your same service, but I said, oh my God, I was so blind. I was blind, totally blind.
Yeah. Yeah, man. So
they want to know, how old are you, man?
36.
36. All right, now you open for any questions they might have of you, man?
Oh, yeah, man. Let's open it up. Okay. See what's going on.
All right, I'm gonna post this in here if you guys have any questions. And this, like I said, this is a 36-year-old man, no debt, and not even a house payment. He has eliminated the largest expense that everyone here will have in their life is where you live, and he just eliminated it for the rest of his life. For those of you that thought rent and or mortgage is just part of life, here's a young man showing you that that's not true. He's not a multi-millionaire. No, people can't afford to have a house with no mortgage payment. What Sal says, I do pay $30 a month on Mint Mobile. I do every 3 months. Okay. Sal's is on Mint Mobile too. Yeah, that's an amazing service. People always say, hey man, you get money from, no, man, just tell people. I don't feel like signing up all that stupid stuff. Now, if they came to me, that would be different. All right. Any questions? There's the link. Man, me personally, I love having these talks with you, man, because it's just, I imagine myself back when I was 36, I was nowhere near your brain, right? I was nowhere near that. And I was so deep in debt. You couldn't tell I was deep in debt if you saw what I drove, where I lived, my clothes. stuff like that, you wouldn't be able to tell I was deep in debt.
Mm-hmm. You know what? It's kind of funny that you mentioned that. Like when I first came to Atlanta and everything, it was kind of funny. Like I actually didn't have like an iPhone. Like I had to go and had to like make some sacrifices in order to get this home and everything. And I still remember going to like AutoZone. And I'm like, I got my Android. It wasn't top of the line. It probably cost like under $100. And then I look in AutoZone and I see this guy up there, and he actually had, the newest model at the time. And then like it's so big he can barely put it in his pocket and everything. And he's working at like the auto parts store. I'm like, what? This doesn't make sense. Like, wait a minute. Like I know he financed that joint. He had to.
He had to. Yeah, you're right. He had to. But he don't know that you know that. Because, well, he probably don't care either because they think financing phones is normal. Somebody got a question that says, how much are your property tax? How much are the property taxes on your home?
Yeah, honestly, it's nothing. It's not nothing. It's not like, I mean, when you like, do I have like the property taxes? Would they be like if it was like a multi-million-dollar home? Of course not. Honestly, I would say it's a pittance to answer that question.
Wow. And you pay them how? Yearly, quarter? How are they paid?
Yearly. Yep, yearly. They come every October? Yeah, near the end of the year. Yeah, and I just pay them off, and that's it.
That's crazy. So you divide that by 12, and that kind of tells you your monthly expenses for living in your house for taxes.
Exactly.
Wow.
And then you have to see, the thing of it is, right when you pay it off, the only thing I have to worry about, like I'll give you a good example of it. Like for a while I was getting ready to like rent out this place and everything, and I was telling my ex-girlfriend about it, and she was like, I was like, oh man, if I get tenants in here, and then I was like, man, I got to keep these bills going, all this other kind of stuff. And she looks at me and she goes, honey, she says, oh no, don't you know, like they have to pay all of their bills and everything else. And I was like, damn. I was like, you live in somebody else's place, they pay all of their bills. Because you can do it one of two ways. Either you can do it that way, or they can have your rent and then wrap up your bills if they know what the average is, and do it like a bundle. So yeah.
Are you thinking about renting out your place soon or something to travel, or is that what you're thinking?
Yeah, honestly, at this point, I'll probably do like an Airbnb kind of deal. Just to have it, occupied when I go out and travel. So
right,
it's
still like making money for you.
Yeah, that'll be paying for my vacations. So
paying the taxes and vacation, huh?
Exactly.
Yeah, that'd be smart, man. I mean, damn, just that. Whoo, man. And, and the wonderful thing about your age too, man, it's like now, because they tried the TV and society, your generation tries to do the pressure of having kids, financing a home, all this, get married, and you being debt free are not susceptible to that false pressure. You know what I'm
saying? Yeah. Well,
it doesn't. You don't get sucked into it because you know who you are.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Well, with me, I mean, I've made the decisions that I have because I know that they're right, and they've just worked out multiple of times over. Like for instance, like why would I go like at this age and be like, oh no, I want to get with the next one that's twerking for me at a club someplace, knowing she like up to her eyeballs in debt, and I'm like, I got a nice, cool, clean place that's paid off. Like why would I want all of that dysfunction and craziness up in my spot?
Right.
So.
Well, and plus, like how I look at it now, like $100 bills are made for 14 cents. Okay. 14 cents, they make $100 bill. Now, if you look at what people will do for $100 bill, right? You know what I'm saying? You know how many, what people will do for that type of, if somebody was making it rain with $100 bills, kind of tells you about the person because those $100 bills were made for 14 cents. Yeah. It tells more about the person, what people will do for money.
Yeah, man.
It tells a lot about them.
Yeah. Yeah, but that was a good question, though.
Man. You guys always.
Yeah, but it was just speaking since the last question was about taxes. Yeah, now my taxes, they have been, let's say, the most that they have been since I've been here. The main reason why is because just the way the real estate market is going. It's almost like they're in like artificially high, that type of deal. You know what I'm
Oh,
saying? Like
yeah, because if property taxes go up, I mean, if property value goes up, so do the taxes, right?
exactly. Yeah.
Now,
So
when the property value goes down, do you have to go in and check? Because they say, the property, say like the property value goes down, okay?
mhm.
That means the taxes must go down. Do they ever do that, or do you have to go in and say, hey, by the way, property value went down, the taxes must be cheaper?
Normally they will automatically do that, but if they
Oh,
don't,
okay.
you can go ahead and make a request for it, and then they'll have somebody else come out, assess your property, and then they'll consider whether they'll adjust your taxes.
Have you ever had to double check whatever they assess to be the taxes? Have you ever had to double check that?
Yes, I have, but normally, and I did like one time, and probably in
Mm.
like 2017. But normally, they've been even back then. The house taxes here, they were so low that it really doesn't mean anything. We're talking about if you take 100%, we'd be talking about like less than like 1% of how much it really would
Gotcha.
be of when it comes to like a salary. I mean, it's
Gotcha.
it's literally no money whatsoever.
Wow. Wow. See, and I want people to understand it because I noticed. Have you ever heard said, uh, "Oh man, if you have a paid off house, you could still lose it with taxes." When you hear when you hear a person say that, I want them to hear you so they can understand. If you don't have no mortgage, taxes ain't shit,
Yeah,
and
it's
no debt.
because
See, they
I
don't know
mean,
that
if
part.
if you think about how much you actually get paid, whether it's starting your own business or whether it's just your whichever you get from your salary or whatever, like whatever your those yearly taxes would be. I mean, it's nothing. I mean, like it would be less than like 1 month's worth of rent in a regular city. You know what I'm saying? That's what I mean by it. It just
Right.
doesn't really cost anything. So
Right.
now here's the thing. Now, if you want to be like an idiot and be like, oh no, I'm not going. I want to just hoard every dime and be like, I'm not going to pay my house taxes. Now you can
Right.
do that, but you better
Right.
believe that when it comes to those penalties and what is
Right.
it, property liens, you can do that, but I wouldn't advise it.
Right. Anybody that to tell you the truth, anybody that has that did what it takes to pay off their house, they're not going to lose they're not going to lose it to taxes. That's not even on your brain. I'm sure you're not even thinking about. I bet you've never once said, man, I could probably lose my house because
Never, not even one. Never even entered my mind.
oh man, they always be worried about the craziest things, man. And see, I don't even. Here I am, 51, man. I don't even know what that feels like. I will know what that feels like, but right now I don't. And I'm excited to see what that feels like to own with something with no rent or mortgage. It's got to just be an amazing feeling.
It's kind of funny how it's like now as I've gotten older, I kind of take it for granted. It's kind of like weird, but I do because it's like it's all I've ever known. Like I've never
Wow.
had that mortgage or I
Damn.
mean, other than just staying with my uncle and him, I just paid him rent, but I was there for like a short period of time. It didn't really that was like an
Right.
Airbnb kind of deal. But when it
Right.
comes to actually paying every single month mortgage, nah, I don't know
I
that right
really, just listening to you say that, you're right. You've never even felt that before.
there. Mm-mm.
God, that is just woo. You have no idea what kind of way that makes me feel inside.
Mhm.
That you've never even felt that shit. Like, oh man, it's the first of the month. You don't even care if the first of the month arrives. Who
Nope.
cares?
Mm-mm.
Oh my God.
Nope. Don't matter.
Wow. Wow. That's man, since 20 years shit.
Because I mean,
Wow.
you need to have it because here's the thing: whether you got a job or whether you have a business, okay, that business can make a whole lot of they can have a whole lot of products that they sell, so forth and so on, services. But then what can expand can contract. Same thing with a person's business that they start. But if you have a paid off house, even if it's like a bare bones type of thing, you can always make your way through it because you don't have that pressure of, oh my God, if I don't make this A work, it's going to affect B and C
Right.
and D.
Right.
And it opens you up. You will have a degree of just calmness about yourself when you
Mm,
don't have that weight on you that's just hitting you every single month.
So you've had this calmness ever since starting working at a young age, right? So you've never really had the pressure to have to work.
No, funny enough that you said that. Which actually I wish I hadn't said it at the time. Actually, when I came here to Atlanta, I actually got fired from my first job because, well, I mean, I was 20 years old. I made my moves and everything, but like, I had a boss at the time and everything, and it's kind of funny. I was taking more days off than he did. And he was my supervisor over like the whole department. He kind of like, he was in his feelings about that. He was like, damn, man, you taking more time off than me. He's like, you gotta, and he actually told me you gotta cut this out. You taking too many days off. You gotta be here to work. And then like after he had said that and everything, and he called me in his office, and I was like, man, I just said it. I regret it at the time because I should have shut my mouth. But I was like, man, I got my own house. I don't have to be here. And I was I was fiery back then, man. I was like, I don't give a shit about this job. Really, that's what I was. I was
right.
And he was like, oh, okay, so really, you don't need a job. And then that's shortly after that he had fired me. And when I said when I said I own my own house, he probably fired me because he didn't own his.
Well, he trust me, he didn't know what you mean because you got to remember, slave thing own is with a mortgage. See, so if you say you own your own house and then you ask the person, do you have a mortgage? They'll say yes because they believe you can own a house with a mortgage, but you can't. They don't know that.
Yeah.
So and especially at 20, he was not thinking you owned a house outright for sure. He was definitely not thinking that.
Yeah. So long story short, don't be like me in my 20s, at least in that regard. If you have your own place that you paid off, do not go around telling folks that.
How many people you think gonna own a house at 20? You are alien at 20. You just didn't know you was an alien. You had no idea. You was like the superb alien at 20 with your own house.
Yeah, man. I had to go my own way. But hey, there are others that have did it too. You know, like Ramil, like he owned his own joint too.
He does, yeah. He owns his own house.
So.
Now, when you were that age, did you tell people you owned your own house? Did they know that?
One of my ex-girlfriends, she did, and that like flipped into a whole lot of jealousy and everything. After that, I stopped telling people. Now I don't say anything about it. I don't, unless you. I mean, even if you ask me about it, I probably would spin you out and say something else. But I'm not revealing it to nobody. Nope.
He said, I ain't telling nobody nothing.
Because I mean, all of that envy and hate and that kind of stuff, you don't want that in your life. So I would just say, in that sense, like if you go and tell them that, unless they're on the same level as you, they won't. They wouldn't get it. Either they won't get it, or they will get it, and they'll hate you for it.
It's real. You know what? I had to let go of a close friend just recently. I had to let him go, man. It was enough because you can't really have that kind of negativity in your life. You just can't have it. It just cannot be there, right? And I knew it was there for a while. It wasn't until recently I had to let him go because that was just enough of because there's nothing to be jealous over. You know what I'm saying? And envy over. It's not. You can do it too. You know.
Of course. I mean, you know, each one teach one. You know what I'm saying? Like if I did it myself, you know, and if the person who you're talking to, you know, they want to go and, you know, have just a better life and don't be stressed and everything. Just, you know, go ahead and see what they're doing. In other words, like if you see somebody and they have something, instead of just hating on them or being jealous of them, see if you can learn what system they use so you can create your own stuff.
How much are your taxes? How much can you give us a number?
Let's see. Honestly, for privacy, I'd rather not.
Okay. All right. No, that's cool. No, say it how you want to say it. Just because I want you to basically answer questions like this. Okay.
Okay.
You know, you don't want, if you don't want to, you don't want to. It's not a big deal. Why is he dodging the question?
Okay. What I can do is give him like, if you take, I'm not gonna give an exact number, but if you take an average rent, and let's say if you take an average rent, you just cut it in half and then cut it, then that will be probably the amount of taxes that I pay every year.
Say that one more time. I'm sorry.
So if you go and take an average rent rent payment in a major
Okay.
city, cut it
Got
in half. That's how much taxes that I'm paying yearly.
Okay. All right. Kind of have an average about that. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So blue collar says my property taxes $900 a month in Chicago on a $500,000 home. Okay. So it definitely counts on, of course, area, right? For sure.
Yeah, that and in the price of the home and all that kind of stuff.
Okay. He says, but I got 2 other apartments to pull rent from. Okay. So he's talking. He sounds like he's talking about business. I'm assuming you're talking about. Are you bouncing between your personal residence, blue collar, and then you're bouncing to business? Because you're talking about. I want to make sure you're not talking about either. You're talking about personal taxes or business taxes, because those are different. No, I just, I can't wait to see what that feels like to be just paying taxes on that, because that's, I once you get out of debt, you understand the purpose of taxes. And purpose of taxes, 2 reasons. It's the backbone of the whole economy. And number 2, if they didn't force people to play, they wouldn't play. Taxes force people to play. You don't play, you go to prison.
Yep, exactly.
And just like I said before, you create a successful business that's making so much money so fast, you won't care what tax bracket you're in. It won't matter, because you can't spend that amount of money anyway, so it doesn't matter.
You know what's funny, LJ, too? Like now, whenever actually I get paid, even though I'm working, I got this job that I'm in now. Even when I get paid, like there are some weeks I actually forget that I got paid.
Right. Right.
I'm not even no lie, man.
Right.
No
I remember
cap.
that. I remember those days. So that's funny you bring that up. I remember I was in a cubicle because I did computers, right? And I remember one time I had forgot if we got paid, because we got paid every 2 weeks, but I couldn't remember if it was this coming up Friday or the Friday before. Now, this is when I was debt free. I worked a year before I quit, right? I remember standing up and asking the person next to me, I said, "Hey man, did we get paid this Friday or last Friday?" You should have seen how many heads popped up out of their cubicles, like that whack-a-mole game. Everybody popped up. There was like, "Oh, we know who make the big bucks." I was like, "No, I'll make the big bucks. I just forgot." It was crazy.
Wow.
Well, blue collar says, I got a 3 flat, 1 apartment I live in. Okay, 2 other I rent out. So property tax literally. Okay, that's smart for sure. If you're debt free, are you debt free, blue collar? I need to make sure of that. If you're debt free, it makes sense. If you're not, it doesn't. Okay, so I just want to make sure you're debt free as you're saying this. James, question for you. James Man said, LJ, question for you. In your opinion, was that wrong for me to pay off my business property first, then pay off my personal residence? Well, when you ask questions like that, this I want you to look at those I want you to look at that question mathematically. Okay, if we look at it mathematically, if you had your personal residence mortgage first, that means it would have been 100% impossible for you to pay off your business, the business that you got after your mortgage. According to the laws of mathematics, you had no money to buy a business at all, according to the laws of mathematics. So you could not have, if you just went by the laws of mathematics, there was no way you could pay off your business if you got your business after you got your mortgage. That's impossible. But if you paid it off by now, hey, congratulations. I'm not knocking you for it. I'm just kind of answering your question in a mathematical way. But then again, too, I want to make sure I don't really mix. I don't like mixing business and personal together, because there's reasons for other things too. So
actually, that LJ, that question is it's a bit out of order. Like
correct.
if you go and actually pay off your personal residence, then you have all your money and that you can go to buy your business.
Correct.
If the opposite way around, again, that
correct.
way is it. Again, if something happens that
right.
can throw off that equation, and then I mean, lose that personal residence, it's like I said, it's out of order.
Correct. Because, and again, mathematically, you can't do that anyway. According to the laws of mathematics, you cannot pay off your business before you pay off your personal residence. That's impossible.
Yep.
So the feeling that you're describing, yeah, that's why you feel, that's why you're saying it the way you're saying it, because you can't do it. I got 15 years left on the mortgage, hard to avoid, but the lifestyle and creature comforts in big city is worth it. Plus, I'm close to an international. Are you debt free, blue collar? That's what I'm asking. Are you debt free?
I think he's saying no. I'm just saying by that.
Yeah,
He's telling you no.
I agree. It sounds like you're saying no, blue collar, because when you start describing the city where you live, the airport that's close to you, that's really irrelevant to the question I'm asking. Because it does the things that are close to where you live are irrelevant if you're in debt. Okay, other than your mortgage. Okay, all right, that's cool. If you're debt free too, you should be able to pay off a house way quicker than 15 years. Okay, if you have no other debt, I would cut that down to like 7, because you have no other debt. And yeah, what you think on that?
Yeah, I mean, really, the number one thing that you want to do is to get the house paid off as fast as you can, so that you can go and any other type of business pursuits you can pursue. You can do it with a sense of ease, because you won't feel like you have all that responsibility on yourself, and you won't. In other words, when you actually go and pursue your business, you'll have a good financial foundation there, especially if you got like kids or something else that's dependent on you. I mean, you could, and I never even thought about this way. Like, a person that is debt free and that has a business and that acquires one is going to handle their business in a certain way versus somebody that has a mortgage and a whole lot of debt. The person that has all that debt and everything, they're going to cut corners, and they can do some sort of like morally unscrupulous things, not because they're inherently evil or anything, or even they did it because it's what they really want to do. Sometimes it could be they're just doing it because they're trying to make ends meet. Exactly. You know what I'm saying?
No, I'm glad you brought that up, because you're right. Because people don't really understand that debt dictates their decisions, especially around money. It'll dictate their decisions. Then they start rationalizing, well, I'm doing this for my kids. I'm gonna do it to put food on my table. Then they start rationalizing embezzlement and stuff like that. So you're right.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, blue collar says that's all he has. That's just the mortgage. Yeah, man. You blue collar, if you pay that, put it this so you understand, blue collar. So I want you to understand that, that put the fire under you to pay that because you said at the end, what else am I going to do, or something you said along with the 15 hard to avoid. You said hard to avoid. Pay that off as quick as you can, and then you never have rent, or you can live where you live right now and never have rent or mortgage again for the rest of your life. And you live next to an international airport. That's when all that stuff will be important. Close to where you live, close to international airport, when you own it. When you own it, every single profit that when it rises up is yours. Right now, when you hear about the property rising where you live, it's increasing. As long as you have a mortgage, don't concern yourself with the equity rising in a house that you don't own. The equity rising in that house has nothing to do with you. That's the bank's equity. Okay. Yeah, you're welcome, James. Appreciate the question. And it's something about, okay, mathematically speaking, if you got the business first before you got a mortgage, you did it mathematically correct, because you were already inside of the business and you didn't have any money really to buy a house then. So the order was reversed. I thought you had your house first. I'm about to take 6 months off, so I'm not hurting for cash. Okay. All right. Hey, man, I'm definitely not knocking anybody taking a long period of time to work off, man. That changed my life. So I ain't going to definitely not discourage you from that. Have you ever taken long periods of time off?
Yeah, man, but to a fault, LJ. Like with that first job I was telling you about, that's why I got in trouble because I
No,
had
I'm
I
talking
don't.
about voluntarily on your own terms.
Well, no, I mean that actually applies. Yeah, that's when I was taking. I mean, well, then and now, yeah, I was taking long periods of time off. Yeah, like to what? The longest has been like a month off, and then
Oh,
like then a couple of weeks off here and
you
there.
should take out. You should do a year, man.
A year off?
Yeah, that's what I did. A year changed my life. That totally changed my life. A year
Oh,
off.
no, are you talking about like? Are you talking about like from like a job taking a year off? No,
Yeah,
you
no
talking
job
about.
for a year.
Oh, okay, I got you.
Yeah, no working, no job for a year. You wake up every day, do whatever you decide to do when you wake up.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, I have experienced that before. It's pretty amazing.
That's
Yeah.
amazing.
Hmm.
It's absolutely amazing. Okay, I just wanted to see if you ever done that before because
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
it's life changing.
No, yeah, no, I haven't. It hasn't been like an issue where I was just working back to back to back to back, and then like, oh man, I wish I knew what it was like to just
Right.
be out and just do whatever
Yeah.
I need to
See,
do.
I keep forgetting you're different. That's what I'm forgetting. Right. You've never had the pressure of needing a job.
Yeah.
See,
Hmm.
yeah, that's different. Okay, that's different.
You know.
Yeah, shit. Yeah, man, you are hard to compare to. I just can't really because you've never had to experience certain things, certain feelings, which is amazing.
Yeah, man. I mean, well, I mean, the main thing that like everybody should realize is that it's possible. What one can do, another person can step in that same lane and do as well. So, it does take some sacrifice to do it, but think of it like this: the small sacrifices that you make now, when you get to be in whatever it looks like 40, 50, it's going to pay off like gangbusters. My
Right,
life is a testament to that.
right, right, man. Wow. Now you do you? I mean, do you literally? Hey, thank you, Dad. You changed my life. I mean, is that what you ever? Do you say that to him? Does he
Yeah,
know
well,
what he did for you?
yeah, he does. He was well, essentially, like when I was talking to him last, he was like, "Yeah," he was telling me that he didn't really know what decision I was gonna make because that's how
Mhm.
it is with with parents. I mean, you can go and they can look at your example and everything, but ultimately, what they do with their life is on them.
Correct.
But
Yeah.
he's just proud of me that I was able to go and just take the lessons from him, apply it in my own life, so that I can start my own enterprise and
Wow,
be debt
man.
free. So, oh yeah.
I mean, he literally gave you such a head start, man. He just it's beyond, man. I mean, such a huge head start. But he didn't just say it. He led by example by having a paid off house.
Exactly. That's how
Wow.
people learn, man. You gotta show them, and I didn't have to worry about like other stuff like child support, none of that, and so yeah, man. I just
All the shit I did, all of it, all of it. Now
yeah,
you got siblings, right?
yeah, I do.
But they didn't follow.
Nope. Funny enough, one went to prison, and the other, nah, that's my sister. Nah, she went the opposite way, man. Look, I believe we
Wow.
talked about this at the last show.
Yeah.
That
I
she
couldn't
just
remember. I just want to refresh my memory there.
Yeah, she just
Wow.
blew. What was it? Yeah, she just blew all of her money just at the mall and just doing reckless stuff that I
Mhm.
was like, no, I'm not doing that because I know what it looks like. But I give it this, like we actually met, actually here in Atlanta. I never forget, like we were going, we had a good time at this coffee shop and everything,
Mhm.
but we caught up, with each other. But then
Mhm.
I can remember when it was time for us to go back to our cars and everything, like. It's like when she was driving and everything that joint. I mean, I felt bad.
What you
I was
mean? What
like
you
her
mean?
car, like it was like the front was torn off.
Oh,
It
bad
was. I
shape.
mean,
I
it
got you.
wasn't. It wasn't. That was a worse. That was a pretty bad looking car, and I was just looking
Right.
at that joint. I'm like, that just shows you, man. Like the
Yeah.
decisions that you make in the past, if you don't change it, like what eventually what it compounds to is pretty bad.
Right. You're right. And you and I were talking before we got on got on the live. I want you guys to really understand. If you believe you can believe this or not, you can, it's your choice. But when you own yourself and you get out of debt, you really can connect the dots to your future. You can. It's possible for sure.
Yep.
You know, it's crystal clear too. It's not even hazy. I mean, you don't know exactly what it's going to turn into or what the business is exactly going to be, but you know which direction to go.
And it's good too, man, because I mean, you could go and like with me, I love traveling, so I got I'm on my vision board all the places that I know I'm gonna hit next, and all of the food that I'm gonna be dining on and all this other kind of stuff. And you can only do that kind of stuff with having your financial house in order. So this is real important.
You ever think about having when you think about having kids ever?
First, I gotta find my debt-free wife.
That's true.
And that's hard. It's like a needle in the haystack. I mean, I'm really looking hard, but what I'm seeing out here is just a bunch of single moms. Well, that's another topic about single moms and but whatever else is out here, man. It's some of it's just not. It's not where it's at.
There is no option. I mean, you're not going to take any woman serious that's in debt. I mean, that's just not an option. So, I mean, she's out there for sure. She's out there. I got lucky. I got the woman I'm with. She was debt free. And I was like, what? Okay.
Where you come from?
I said, I got to see your personal. I remember when I was asking to see her personal credit report, she thought I was joking. I was like, no, I got to see it. You telling me you got no debt? I want to see it. And when I saw it, it was like, you know how they open a book and a whole light comes into your face?
No, I'm getting with you. Like she ain't going nowhere.
I went, oh, I was like, oh my God, I hit the jackpot.
Yep. Congratulations, man. Seriously, I mean that. That's an accomplishment in itself.
Oh yeah, hell yeah, it is. You better believe that. I thought you were lying. She was like, why would you think I was lying? Because
so many are. Because somebody like you would have said, oh, I mean, think about it. Like if you was dating somebody else or whatever, and you would have asked your personal credit report, like she would have got offended and may have like tried to, who knows, cuss you out or saying who you think you is and all this kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do. You think you better than me?
Right?
No.
All these emotions for what? All I want to see is your personal credit report. I'm not asking about what kind of underwear you wearing. What in the world you getting all up in your feelings about?
I know, because they think it's personal. They don't know when you ain't got no debt, ain't nothing to see on it. Hey, you want to see a blank? You want to see a blank credit report? Here, look. Okay. I don't care. Look. It's one page and it's blank, right? You got to remember, slaves, they got multiple pages in there. I mean, multiple pages inside of their credit reports. Crazy. Bananas.
Yeah.
Oh, that is hilarious, man. All right, man. I don't know how much time you have, man, but don't look like nobody want to jump on and ask any questions. But I enjoy these talks, man. I like hearing from your perspective, because when I try to say, hey, man, you should do this, I keep forgetting you didn't grow up the same way I did financially. So it's very different, because you said you love what you do, right? And you don't have to work at a place you don't like. You're not working at a place you don't like. So you don't know what it's like to work at a place you don't like. Yeah.
I mean, here's the thing. You can't really control other people. Do I have things that stress me, on a daily basis? People that say some dumb stuff to me. Yeah, that is. But it's different. Like when I have to go to work, it's I'm like, no matter whatever happens, no matter with other people, I'm like, I'm here because I got to take care of these patients. That's the number one reason why. Right. I'm coming up here. I'm doing a good work. I'm getting.
Remind me of what you do again.
Sure. I'm in essentially the occupational health realm.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's like, so
salary or hourly?
Salary.
Okay.
Yeah. So essentially, after I go and just go, and when I go to work, and I do it because it's what I actually want to do, not because somebody's making me do it. So you
don't let them take time away from you, because I used to talk about this being salary. I let them steal time away from me. Answering emails after hours and calls. You don't allow any of that, right?
No. Oh no. It's funny that you said that. Actually, a guy, he actually tried to do that, and they actually will even my personal like cell phone, they'll
Right.
like try to like call or even text me, and I just don't answer at all. Like I just don't. I ignore it because like why would I go? I'm on my personal time.
Right.
Why would I go and just and just answer you when I'm not getting compensated for it? Like,
See what I'm saying? I did it for years. That's why what you don't know is that because everybody does it. That's why. I didn't know. It's so weird. I didn't know I wasn't getting compensated for answering calls and emails after hours. Ain't that crazy? That's just crazy for me to say it out loud. But I didn't know that because I was salary. For some reason, I thought salary meant you own me 24 hours a day or something. I don't know.
yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah, man. But now I'm moving into like this like the sales role that I'm getting ready to pursue next, and I know that's just gonna free up a whole lot of time, man. And with like a paid off house, I'm looking forward to it. It's gonna be just amazing. I always have my eyes looking toward the future. So yeah.
Now, before you go, I want to ask you a question. So, has anything come to you what you would love to be? You see you see me doing SMD, right?
Yeah.
This is clearly my passion. You can see that it's my passion, right? Do you have anything in the future that you can feel or you're going towards or anything like that?
Yeah, it's moving into like the healthcare sales role.
Okay.
So it's going and providing those services to just large clients and
Gotcha.
traveling. Again, I always love to travel, so going around to different locations and marketing my own stuff. That
Okay.
is what I'm really looking into, and I'm just honestly I'm really pumped up to see exactly what's going to happen. I always say, and it's really important, like your all of what you do, it should be pulling your best future self forward, so that
Correct.
you can go ahead and say that you lived a real full life, and you can
Mhm.
only do that by having those sound financial principles
Mhm.
in play and being debt free.
Mhm. Yeah, you're gonna naturally pass that to your children, man. When you do find that needle in the haystack, because she's out there, trust me, she's there. It's just gonna be hard. I mean, it won't be difficult to find because you're not gonna accept anything less. So it's not really gonna be that difficult. You just probably be by yourself for a long time, which is cool too, right? But when it happens, you're gonna naturally pass these principles off. I mean, it's gonna be generational for you now. I mean, you're the prime example. Your dad showed you. Now you're gonna show your kids. It's just passed down. Who knows? Did you ever ask your dad, hey dad, did anybody show you this?
Mm,
You
I
should
think
ask them that if you
with
haven't.
him, yeah, I actually did. So when it came to like how he grew up, they actually so my grandmother, so before they were renting, and I think like the landlord at the time, he just and this was obviously many years ago, but he just decided that oh well, he had somebody else that he wanted to move into the house
Mhm.
where they were living at, and just like kicked them out and said
Mm.
like within like I don't know a couple of months or whatever. And ever since then, like my dad was like, I'm gonna own my own property, so nobody's ever gonna be able to like kick me out of
Mm.
my stuff.
Mm.
Funny enough, like there's it was like another guy like a Boosie Badass, like the
Mhm.
rapper and everything. That's what he was
Mhm.
saying. Like before he went to jail and everything, he had a mortgage property, and then once he went to jail, he couldn't afford it anymore, and he actually lost it. So what he did, he got out of jail, he
Mhm.
bought some land here in Atlanta, and he built his own house, and now and can't anyone kick him out of it. So you see
Mm.
what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah.
Like if you go and once you own your own land, you get to dictate your own terms, and
Mm.
honestly, you really can't put a price on that because it's owning
Yeah.
your life.
Wow. Yeah.
So
Wow, man. That's an amazing story.
yeah, man.
Yeah.
Anytime. I always appreciate these collabs, man. We always go and actually what you talked about stock. The main thing I learned was actually with the jug mail thing. They've been coming here for some years, and I couldn't get them to stop. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna go the next time. What is it? Yeah, tomorrow's Tuesday. I'm gonna put that stuff right back in the post office.
Let it stack up. Let it get nice and heavy to where you could still close it, but make it nice and heavy and make sure it's all their stuff so they get the message. They'll know who it came from and who not to send it to again.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So go Bears. All right,
Well,
man.
man,
Well, I'm
yeah,
head on
man.
out.
I appreciate you, man. And whenever you feel like, just like this time, if it comes to you and you want to get on the mic and talk, man, I'm all ears for that, man. I love that. I love it.
Awesome, man. I look forward to it. Well, till next time.
Okay.
Appreciate you.
Appreciate you, man. Thank you.
Yep. Later.
Later. Yeah, those are lovely, man. I love those kind, man. And like I said, you guys, the people that listen in the background, man, they really do want to hear you guys' stories. If you've been following me for years, you pretty much know me by now. And I'm just, the only thing I relate to you now are just current events financially. So you can see what's really happening when you hear financial things, changes in the economy. You come to this channel, I'll tell you why it's really happening, and how slaves are affected and how wealthy people are affected. Okay, it's totally different, you know. So if there's people losing, there's people winning. I promise you that. Okay. Yeah, like I said, if you haven't picked up a shirt, I posted the link in there. I'm posting it here one more time, and I'm posting the details of every video. This is the first edition. I should be getting, today's Monday. If I don't hear from them, shit. No, I'm gonna just give them a call tomorrow, see where they're at. I'm gonna give them one more day. I know it hasn't been quite 7 to 10 business days, but I just kind of getting an idea where they're at. I'm really excited about getting these shirts. I pretty much already know what the next 3 shirts are going to be. I had to stop myself, and so I'm excited. These shirts are really going to change the awareness of SMD. I want to make sure these shirts are going to be like 37 million subscribers on YouTube. I want to make sure people understand that SMD is different from all 37 million. That is true. It should terrify you, Gabriel, for sure. To actually say SMD is going to be known worldwide. I already had been thinking about that for quite a long time in my head. I'm like, hey man, this is worldwide, right? But I never really verbalized it. Now I just verbalize it for sure. I know for a fact that SMD is going to be worldwide because millions of people are in debt voluntarily. You know what I'm saying? Around the world. It really doesn't matter. So that's why I know I'm going to be, or SMD is going to be known around the world, right? They have to scare you. I like that SIN, Slave Information Network. We could put SIN on shirts, and then if somebody wants to know what SIN means, okay, well, look, I can tell you, I can tell you what it means. So you might not want to know. No, you caught up in the basically slave splaining, right? Slave Information Network, where they share, all the slaves share information amongst themselves. And that's what it really is, because when slaves are in the debt matrix sharing all this student loan forgiveness and credit cards, and it is the Slave Information Network. They don't know that they're sharing information amongst themselves. They don't know they're sinning. The slaves are sinning to each other. They're sinning to each other. They go like, sinning? What you mean that's a sin? No, not that kind of sin. Then what kind of sin you talking about? Slave Information Network. That's what I'm talking about. I'm telling you, man, you guys be coming up with some good ones, man. You guys be coming up with some good ones. It was so crazy that Greyside sent me this information. He said, this is what I'm gonna be talking about. I didn't even connect. When it said network or sin, I was like, I don't know what does that mean, sin? And then I connected and he said, I was like, damn, that's perfect, But anyway, thank you guys for joining. If you're new to the channel, I appreciate you. There's if you want to get out of the debt matrix, I can give you the blueprint. Fast track. You don't have to wait. You don't have to wonder. You don't have to go through all the barricades that I had to get through. I can just help you just hop right over to the finish line. But you have to do the work. I can give you the plan. I give you the exact mathematical plan how to do it. That's what I do. I give you the I create the map to own yourself. In order for you to get to zero, financial freedom, that's how much the price of financial freedom is $0. The price of financial freedom is zero. Okay. I give you the path on how to achieve that. You have to do the work. I'll show you exactly how to do it. And then when I show it to you, when you look down and I show you this map, you're gonna understand the map. You're gonna understand why I'm doing it, why I said this, why am I writing this, why am I writing these numbers, why do this, you'll understand everything. And then when you get to zero, you'll be free. You'll own yourself. Because that's the key. What you don't understand is this, what a lot of unconscious slaves don't really get. You want to be successful in business? If you want to be successful in business, first you must own the business of you. If you don't own you, you can how are you going to create a successful business if you can't even be successful at the business of you? You can't. That's impossible. You understand that you own the business of you first. Anything else, any business that you create outside of you, it has increased dramatically to be successful. Before I end this, I'm gonna just tell you this right now because I was just thinking of it right now. Now, when Gabriel said just earlier, Gabriel said your dreams should terrify you, right? They do. They so big it scares me. But this is so crazy. I was thinking about it this way, thinking about this just the other day. Here I am, which I do. I love helping people change their lives and stuff, and own themselves. But then what I end up looking at people like Elon Musk and Richard Branson, right? These guys are going to space. They're working on consumer regular space travel, make regular trips to outer space, make it like just a normal thing. Here I'm doing, I'm like, damn, what am I not putting what I do down. I'm just telling you how big I dream. I'll be like, God damn, they're doing, that's like his Tesla, that's like a hobby. Him creating a fully unmanned driving car, that's like a hobby. He's going to outer space. Him and Richard Branson, outer space. And I look at stuff like that, I'll be like, man, I'm way behind, man. I'm way behind. I'm way behind. They're talking about space travel. And here I am trying to convince people to be free. And again, I'm not saying that it's a bad thing what I'm doing. I'm just telling you how big I dream, how big I look. Space travel. Hey, man, you're in debt. Like this. Space travel. You shouldn't be making car payments. You see what I'm saying? Financing cars are bad. Where you going? To Mars? Elon, what you doing? I'm going to Mars. What are you doing? Trying to convince people not to make finance cars? You see what I'm saying? You got to dream big, and they got to scare. It doesn't matter what the people around you. Anybody that tries to put your dreams down, you got to remember they're talking about themselves. They're saying they can't do it. When you come up with something that's outrageous to the majority, and they say that's stupid, that's crazy, you got to remember they can only be talking about themselves. That's the only way. Sometimes I think about, when you hear a lot of people just try to prevent you calling your dreams and aspirations stupid or dumb, you cannot take it personally because they don't know. They can only, what are they in your brain? How do they know you can't do what you decide to do? They don't. They can only be talking about themselves. Now I'm gonna leave you guys with that. All right. So until next time, you guys take care of yourselves. Appreciate you all, you people that chat, people in the background. Appreciate the donations. Appreciate the emails. Appreciate the stories. I appreciate it all. All right. So until next time, later.